So what's up guys, it's here by Nino and welcome back to another video of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. In today's video, I want to show you guys my absolutely best settings after the Season 6 Haunting update, which is probably going to be the last update before Modern Warfare 3. You know, they're not really going to change much things, so I thought I'd show you guys my absolutely best settings. People always ask me, Hero, how do you aim so effectively on the game? How are you so fluid with your movement and everything? And in today's video, I'm going to show all of that, my best controller settings, my best graphics settings for both PC and on my console as well, so you guys can apply the settings to whatever platform you play on, my best audio settings, and whatever you need to know. Since this is the last major update before Modern Warfare 3, I just thought I'd give it all out there, and I'll try to be very succinct in this video so you can get back into gaming and collect those souls and go crazy for the rest of the season. So if you guys are excited to see these absolutely god-tier settings, make sure you guys drop a like in the video, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. As always, super shout out to the Noti gang from the comment section below my videos. If it wasn't for your support, who knows where I would be as a YouTuber? I'm just some freaking random dude on the internet that's entertaining you, so thank you for your support always. And if you're interested in my videos, I do upload nuke entertaining gameplays, funny moments, and best class setups, so if all that sounds good to you, then definitely do subscribe. But that's enough of the plugin, let's get into these freaking settings. So starting it off, I do play on controllers, so sorry to any of my keyboard and mouse players, I'm not really about that, but there's probably somebody out there that is. But when it comes to my edit button layout here, I do play on bumper jumper tactical flipped. Now, this is probably the best one in my opinion. Stick and move is also super good, but the reason why I flip it and because I play on bumper jumper tactical is because aiming with L1 makes me way more snappier with my aim, which is a lot better than if it was with L2. R1 allows me to shoot a lot quicker than it would with R2, and then with L2 I can jump, and then with the control stick, which is R3, I can slide, which is pretty effective. And the reason why I run on this, sort of layout is because it allows me to be more fluid with my movement in terms of jump shotting way easier and drop shotting way easier. And I've been able to use this controller layout since Black Ops 3, which is back in 2015. So I've been playing on this for over 8 years, which is kind of mind-blowing to me to think about. And it's always helped me on both the jetpack games and on these boots on the ground games, allowing me to outplay my opponents. If you want to be able to control this, switch to this, but at the end of the day, you should stick to what really works for you. But I will recommend that if you switch to this, you'll be a lot better for Modern Warfare 3 in the future because movement's going to be a much bigger thing in that game. And with this, you'll be able to slide, drop shot, jump shot, whatever is needed necessary on that game. So I do recommend you switch, though it might take you a couple weeks to master it. I know it did for me back in 2015 when I was a lot younger, and it didn't take me too long. But I know as an older dude now, it would take me a bit, but try it out for yourself. Also, this is a nice little control freak that I use. Make sure you guys use that code HERO at controlfreak.com for a nice little discount. Moving onwards, we got bumper ping off, stick layout preset default, controller vibration off, just because I don't feel like vibration really helps you. I mean, it doesn't hurt you either. That's pretty much personal preference there. When it comes to my sensitivities though, I run on 8 and 8 because it's not too fast and not too slow. Playing on a lower sensitivity does help your aim, but it's a lot harder to turn on people if they surprise you. And the opposite is true at a higher sensitivity. If you're on like 2020, you're going to be able to turn on people like crazy, but your aim might not be the best at farther ranges. So that's why I keep it right in the middle. At the end of the day, just play on whatever is the most comfortable for you. But like I said, I like 8 and 8 because it's the perfect medium where I'm able to turn on people very effectively and still keep some very precise aim. Sensitivity multiplier is going to be, all regular at 1. ADS sensitivity multiplier at 1. Vertical aim max is all on standard here. Aim down sight behavior hold, this is all like default. When it comes to automatic sprint, I highly recommend you have this off. If you have it on, you're not going to be in full control of your character and you're always going to be sprinting. And automatically sprinting can hurt you in the sense of running into campers. You won't be able to turn on those opponents a lot quicker than if you were just, in full control of your character. So definitely have it off and be in full control of your character. You'd be a lot more snappy in the game. Equipment behavior hold, weapon mount activation is default, interact/reload behavior. If you're playing Warzone 2, I would recommend prioritize interact, but because you're most likely watching this for multiplayer, I am going to recommend tap to reload is just the best way to go about things. Prioritize interact for Warzone 2, by the way, allows you to loot faster, allows you to just interact a lot faster instead of like holding a button down, which is also super useful. So yeah, for Warzone, use this, but for multiplayer, tap to reload. Armor plate behavior, apply y'all, just in case you're playing Warzone. And now going into the advanced controller settings, target aim assist on to make some keyboard and mouse players very mad. I love you guys, but we gotta take advantage of aim assist on controller. Aim assist type, the best ones are Black Ops or default because they have aim assist active at all situations. But when you're on precision or focusing, aim assist gets taken away at certain points, so make sure you're running on either default or Black Ops. I prefer default. Third person ADS correction type, assist, so you get as much aim assist as possible in third person mode. When it comes to aim response curve type, dynamic is the best one. It's the one that I've been playing all this entire year. I've been playing with this way since Modern Warfare 2019, and it's what I'm going to play on in Modern Warfare 2023, with Modern Warfare 3. All the pro players play on it. It gives you the most stickiest aim assist, and it's definitely more dominant than standard or linear, at least in my opinion. Of course, you can choose whatever you want and, choose what works for you, but I think dynamic is what people are going to like the most. All of this is default. Custom sensitivity per zoom, I have it so that the low zoom and the 2x, 3x zooms are at 0.9, so that I can be more accurate and precise with those types of zooms. When it comes to the bulkier zooms from 4x and onwards, I have it at 1.20, so I don't feel as bulky, and I can slide the scope a lot better and not be as slow. When it comes to inputs dead zone, I just have everything at 0.1, everything's kind of left at default. If you wanted to though, make sure your left trigger and your right trigger are as low as possible, so you can be a lot more snappy in terms of your aim and your shooting buttons. But these others, they don't really matter unless you want to prevent some stick drift, and having left stick and right stick minimum being at 0.1, which will help you do that. Controller orientation up, gyro behavior and all this, I don't really care for gyro aiming. You're gonna have to watch somebody else for that, but I don't really mess with it personally. When it comes to movement behaviors, we got toggle there. Auto move forward off is pretty much the same methodology as automatic sprint. You want to be more control of your character to take out campers. Everything else here should be default. Invert slide and dive behavior, some people like inverted to get across Vaznev a little bit easier, but that's, more Warzone specific. And yeah, pretty much everything else here is what I keep at default. Let's move over to my PC graphics settings, and then we'll go to console settings right after. In case you guys are curious, I do have a 1440p monitor at 144 Hz, and these are my specs. I run a 3080 Ti, 64 gigabytes of RAM, and the rest of my specs should be on the screen right now. These are the settings that I use here. VSync is always off. Custom frame limits is what I rock with right here. Eco mode I have off so I can really take advantage of the power on my PC. And that's all that really matters right here. When it comes to quality, like I said, I do run on 1440p, so I can, risk having my render resolution at 85. If you're on a 1080p monitor or you play on 1080, I do recommend to have this at 100 if possible. But if your PC has trouble, getting a little bit more frames, then, you can lower it to maybe a 95 or even a 90. But because my game looks as clean as possible, I lower this sometimes to 80 at times, just because the resolution is still very good for me, which is the advantages of playing on 1440p. When it comes to upscaling / sharpening, I've got Fidelity FX Cast, and I put that at 90 to have some really great color and be able to identify my opponents a little bit easier. Anti-aliasing, SMA T2X, anti-aliasing quality low. Video memory scale, you can have this at 80 or 90. If you have any hitching or packet loss, try switching between the two and see what your perfect video memory scale is. Texture resolution, I have it at low. Texture filter on the stroke strip, I have it at normal. Nearby level of detail low. Distant level of detail high, because you want to be able to see the the stuff at longer distances a little bit more cleaner, especially at Warzone, so you can still identify opponents better. Color draw distance short. Particle quality high. Particle quality level high. Put impacts on. Persistent damage layers off. Shader quality low. Tessellation off. On the max texture streaming off. Streaming quality low, volumetric low, deferred physics quality off, water quality can be default, or wetness is something I like. Shadow map resolution very low, screen space shadows off, spot shadow quality low, spot cache low, particle lighting normal, ambient occlusion off, screen space reflections off, static reflection quality low, weather grid volumes low. NVIDIA reflex low latency, a lot of people are gonna just want to put this on. Some people might perform better with on plus boost or off, but I would recommend for the vast majority of PC players, put this on. When it comes to depth of field, world motion blur, and weapon motion blur, they all kind of give you a nice little blur effect, in the background somehow, and you do not want to have any sort of blur, because if you're moving around and the background is blurry, you might not be able to identify a camper or an opponent, at a window or something. So just don't have it on. It's going to hurt you at the end of the day. Same with film grain, it's pretty much the same concept. Field of view is going to be at 120, so I can have as much in the environment seen in my eyes as possible whenever hip firing. And when it comes to ADS field of view, a lot of YouTubers are going to tell you to be unaffected. I prefer independent, because when you ADS with independent on, it turns into AD FOV, and when your FOV is bigger, objects appear bigger, and this is going to help you be a lot more precise for those longer range targets. And when you're ADS and you're trying to focus in on something, so I just think logically this is a lot better. But if you want to run it affected, then go for it, run whatever works for you, but this is the best way it works for me, in my opinion. Weapon field of view wide, so the weapon looks as small as possible, and it doesn't take up your entire screen as much, so that's why you see a lot more of the screen. Third person field of view, 90. Vehicle field of view, wide, pretty much for the same reasons that I just stated before. First person camera movement 50% and third person as well 50%, because you don't want it at 175 because then you get more shakiness, more recoil, and that's just not going to help you in terms of like being much more steady with your aim. And then the rest is pretty much a personal preference. But yeah, we're going to go over to the console graphics settings, and let's go to that right now. And here we are on our graphics settings for our consoles here, specifically on my PS5, but these settings will work on any console, technically speaking. We got on-demand texture streaming off, world motion blur and weapon motion blur should both be off, which we talked about in the PC section if you want a little bit more of explanation on that. Basically, you just don't want blur in your games, you want the game to look clear. Film grain, also 0 for the same reason, and depth of field is going to be off for pretty much a similar reason. You just don't want any sort of fuzziness or blurriness when you're trying to be in a competitive FPS. Fidelity FX cast is going to be on, and make sure to have this around, you know, anywhere between 50 and 70, and that'll give you the best sort of like color for your game to be able to identify your opponents or whatever to the best of your ability. If you're on PS5 or the Xbox Series consoles, make sure you have this on and you have the specifications for it, you know, HDMI 2.0 cable and a 120 hertz or higher monitor, so that you can take advantage of this, because those extra frames really do help. You know, against those PC players, when you're on PS4 and the old Xbox One consoles, those are going to be a little bit, you know, disadvantaged when it comes to the refresh rate. The view is going to be all the way at 120, so we can see the environment entirely. And when it comes to ADS field of view, you guys know I prefer independent over affected, and I've already explained the reasons of that in the PC section, PC graphics settings section. Weapon field of view wide, so your weapon looks as small as possible and you can see as much of your screen as you can. Third person field of view, once again, maxed out at 90, and vehicle field of view for the same reasons as the weapon field of view. First person camera movement and third person camera movement both got to be at least 50%. If you have it at default 100 or 75, that's going to hurt you entirely, because it's going to make your vision kind of recoil a lot, and that's going to hurt you in the end of the day. And everything else here is kind of personal preference, except for eco mode. Make sure that this is on minimal or off, so you can really take full advantage and power of your consoles. So with all that being said, let's go back to PC and cover the audio settings. And now here I am back on my PC to show you guys the audio settings. And when it comes to audio mix, of course, you know, I love rocking on PC. I've been using it for the entire year, practically. Before, I did use headphones bass boost or home theater, which in my opinion are like the best ones. And if you're on console, obviously you use bass boost or home theater. Those are pretty much typically the best ones on here. But when it comes to PC, is this the one that I've been working with? It allows me to really hear my opponents, that feels like. When it comes to master volume, of course, you know, boost as much as you want, but don't make your ears bleed. Gameplay music volume, we don't care about that. We want to hear footsteps, so turn that all the way down. But some of the music is nice in this game. Dialogue volume, I have it at 30, so I can at least hear opponents calling out, or, you know, teammates calling out, or whatever the case may be. Effects volume, this is what you want cranked all the way up, so you can hear footsteps, you know, enemies reloading, you know, maybe an armor plate being put on, and just, you know, maybe even glass breaking. You can hear a lot of things in this game, and by maxing this out while having everything else a little bit lower is going to help you achieve that perfect sound balance. Voice chat volume at 50. Some people have really messed up mics, so I don't like having this at 100, but if you want to hear, you know, enemies rage in like better volume, you can put this up a little bit more, but this is more of an optional setting. And then cinematic music volume and war tracks volume are both optional. You can put those at whatever you want. And then everything else here, I think, is just, you know, personal preference. We got subtitles here, and if I wasn't a content creator, I would have subtitles on, because having subtitles on allows you to read callouts or whatever the case might be going on in the game, whereas, you know, audio callouts could be delayed because there's a lot of action going on, especially on like shipment. So reading stuff is a lot better, but I just don't put it on because I try to give you guys the best videos that look clean, and I just feel like all the text on the screen might be confusing for you guys, or just looks ugly for the video. But if you don't make content, then definitely put this on. I feel like it can help you a ton. I used to do it back in the day, but I don't do it anymore because I want my videos to look a little bit more cleaner for you guys. And reduced tinnitus sound is optionally, you know, put on or off depending on how you want to hear the game. And yeah, with that being said, let's go to interface settings now. And we kind of already talked about this color customization. You want to change the colors of certain, you know, objects to like, you know, like a pink or a purple or whatever. That can maybe help you like identify things a little bit easier. I just don't really mess with that personally. I think the colors are fine in this game, but in Modern Warfare 3, hopefully they'll fix it for release. Subtitles we've already talked about. HUD, square. I like round, you know, don't do round minimap shape, because that has lower surface areas than a square. A square is going to give you a better, better surface area, so you can see more red dots, especially if you have a UAV up. Minimap rotation on, horizontal compass on, so you can see anybody that's shooting and read the compass that way. Crosshair is static, so it doesn't bounce around and, you know, throw your aim a little bit off, even though it's kind of a placebo effect. I think it helps a little bit. Hit marker visuals on, damage based hit markers on. This is all pretty much default stuff. Center dot on. I just feel like having the dot on right there just really helps me in terms of getting better aim. And then I have the center dot scale on largest. And then telemetry, I have FPS, server latency, and packet loss on, so I can see how many frames I have. And if the lobby that I'm in is a little bit laggy, because man, there's some pretty bad servers sometimes. And then everything else, I believe, is a personal preference, including inverted flash. Do you want the black flash or the white flash? You know, do you want to blind your eyes or believe that your PC or console are shutting down for whatever reason? It's always fun to make that comparison. But yeah, that is pretty much all the settings that I rock here. Make sure you guys, you know, use these settings, apply them to your own, you know, gameplay style or not, you know. Maybe just take some of them and use some of your own. At the end of the day, you are going to be the best user of your own settings, and you're going to succeed the way that you want to. You know, you might succeed using my settings, you might succeed using your own settings, or a mix of both. And that's what makes Call of Duty really fun. We get to play the way that we want. But yeah, if this video helps you in any way, like I said, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and turn on those post notifications. I really can't wait to see Modern Warfare 3 come out. You can pretty much use these settings on Modern Warfare 3 as well, but I just can't wait to keep dropping MGBs and hopefully see you for the rest of this year and hopefully have a great time. I can't believe this is like the last major update too, but who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us with like right before Modern Warfare 3 release. Who freaking knows? Anyways, keep being beautiful and amazing, and just know I really freaking love you all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to see these gameplays live, then make sure you guys follow me on my Kick stream at kick.com/themarkofaHero. I interact with the chat, and we have a good old time roasting ragers and nuking fools. I also stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/themarkofaHero, and you'll see a lot of the same action on there. Also, if you guys want to see even more videos from me, check me out on my second channel, More Hero. On that channel, you guys will see Warzone 2 gameplay, store bundles, and other miscellaneous videos that aren't here on the main channel. I really love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being a beautiful audience. And without further ado, I hope you guys have a good day. Stay awesome and keep being big ballers. I love you all.